So yeah, finally got my laptop working on the Wi-Fi in the hospital. I was going to try and do another Loom video recording to show you the time that I had to get the date and time in the bottom corner of the screen right, because I searched it on Gemini AI, but it doesn't show you the time, so you couldn't verify that I was sat outside the office on the CCTV in the hospital, trying to change the date format back from my laptop just after I got it out of security. What I wanted to talk about in this video really quickly is my section 132 rights. So I came and tried doing them again yesterday, and a few weeks ago, and I then tried to do my section 132 rights. Section 132 rights is a bit of paper that looks like this, and it's got on one side your rights. If you can read that on this laptop camera, probably not. It's just every 2 weeks they run through it and they make sure that you haven't forgot that you've got the right to appeal, you've got the right to a tribunal and a hospital manager's hearing and all that sort of stuff, and they just read you through what's on the page. Somebody brought it to me a few weeks ago, and I noticed that they'd spelt my name Bodie MacLeod, B-O-D-I-E, and M-A-C-L-E-A-D. And they'd also put that I was on a section 2 rather than a section 3, and they hadn't put in the bit where it says hospital number there. They hadn't put that in properly. So I said, look, it's the wrong section, my name's spelt wrong, and you haven't put the hospital number in there. And it hasn't got the date of detention or date of CTO. You can see there, date of detention, date of CTO just wasn't on there. So kind of wasn't worth the paper it was printed on. So I gave her a chance to go back and correct the errors that I'd sussed out. And she brought it back first time with my name spelt correctly, but the section's still wrong. So she sort of had 2 chances for correcting the section from 2 to 3. And she still hadn't put the hospital number in. So I sent her away again, second time. So could you please put my name spelt correctly, my correct section, and my hospital number on the form, like that, so it's legible and fit for purpose and legal and all that sort of stuff. And then she brought it back a third time, and I was going through my stuff yesterday because they'd brought me another form that didn't have my hospital number on it, and had my name spelt wrong. It's like M-C-C-L-E-O-D. I've checked on Gemini, and spelling a name wrong isn't medical negligence, unless it's caused you harm or loss or distress or pain, which, I mean, unless somebody's tried to phone up the hospital and say, have you got Brodie McLeod there? And someone said to them, like, well, how do you spell Brodie McLeod? And they've said, is it B-R-O-D-I-E-M-A-C-L-E-O-D? And they've said, well, actually, we haven't got a patient by that name. No. So, I can't think of a motive why they would constantly misspell my name. I did like a presentation on it before with Signet at a different hospital where they'd spelled my name wrong on like my medical early warning system chart. On my meds chart, they put my date of birth wrong. They put my name wrong on like loads of different documents, and I bought a printer and I printed it all out and I kept them in printed format so that I could show like the police or somebody, like, look, they just misrepresent my name and everything. But it's not really a big deal. This was, and I found this yesterday, which is like the 3rd attempt for the nurse, the registered mental health nurse, who should have a really good working knowledge of the Mental Health Act and law, and does these for every single patient every 2 weeks, the whole time they've worked here. As you can see, you can probably just see this one has got my name spelled correctly eventually. It does say section 3, you can't read that at all from the camera, can you? But it does say my name correctly. What they've done there, where it says hospital number, is just put the phone number of the hospital, which isn't alright. So hospital number is meant to be like a CHK number, Signet Hospital Q Stoke, I think mine's like CHKE004 or something. Anyway, they tried yesterday to come and give me a document with my name spelt wrong and no hospital number on there, and it didn't have the date of detention either. And this is one that's got, after I requested, this was like the third attempt to correct it. It spelt my name. Actually, this one does still say Bodie McLeod. Can you see that there? It's like L. You can just see it sort of, if it's mirrored obviously, but it sort of looks like an A, like it did the first time, and that is just a phone number that's been written in where it says hospital number. I don't know what the motive is. There's something called dead horse syndrome, which I read about. Let me just Google that. So dead horse syndrome refers to the tendency to persist with strategies, policies or teams that are no longer productive or effective despite the fact that they're failing to deliver results. It's about knowing when to abandon a failing approach and move on rather than wasting resources on something that's already dead. The core concept, it says, is rooted in the idea that when something no longer works, it's essential to let it go rather than continue to invest time and effort into a futile endeavour. Leaders, organisations can become attached to old approaches or teams even when they're clearly failing due to factors like fear of admitting failure, lack of flexibility, sunk cost fallacy. It can be difficult to acknowledge that something has been relied upon for a long time is no longer viable. Organisations might be slow to adapt to changing circumstances or embracing new ideas. Tendency to continue investing in something because of the resources already invested, even if it's clear that it won't be acceptable. Per se, examples: dead horse syndrome, persisting with a failing marketing campaign, maintaining a poorly performing team, sticking with outdated processes, avoiding blah blah blah. Anyway, right. So it's like I've asked my medical legal scrutiny checklist, which is a vital part of the section, and you have to have it in principal format, and they've said that I can only see it if I look at it on a computer screen, which isn't acceptable and it's really highly circumspect. I wrote a post today offering that I'd give 95% of any damages awarded to anybody who can react and respond and reply and legally represent me in a court of law and claim what Google says might be like quite a lot of damages. But anyway, yeah, so they tried to do my rights yesterday. They left out my hospital number, they spelt my name wrong, they didn't put the date of detention. And on the back, where it's got like the date, you can see like on the left hand side there, it's got the date of the thing. She'd like written it so it was sort of like outside the box. You couldn't really see what the date was. I'm just not very happy about. I think how that relates to dead horse syndrome is that I think that what they're trying to do is sort of like make sure that I'm adequately medicated and fed and treated like I'm lawfully detained, and they're sort of persisting with these minor contractual adherences of a lawful detention, even though it kind of appears that there might not be one. But look, 9 minutes of time has passed, and I'm not using Loom Recorder today. I'm just going to use the laptop camera. But here's a paradoxical video of me in the bathroom mirror at room 15, Signet Q-Stoke, on the 9th of March 2025 at 17:10. It's time for tea. If anyone can find me a solicitor, and it does transpire that my presumptions, theories, assumptions, deductions and assertions are correct, and I might be unlawfully detained, like I have been before. I've got a letter from Kitty Granger from 2019, who's a mental health act administrator, in my security box that says I was detained without medical legal scrutiny. If you look at NHS policy, Devon Partnership Trust policy document M14, it says on the first page that patients must be must have papers received and scrutinised by the trust in order that they're detained lawfully, and I did actually post that, I think, online to somebody somewhere on Twitter, if I can find it just before I go. Yeah, there you go. If you can see that, it says receipt and scrutiny of detention papers. It's called policy document M14. I'll put a link to it in the description. It says under the Mental Health Act, detention, aka section papers, must be received and scrutinised correctly by authorised officers of the trust so that patients are detained lawfully. And that's like an older version of the same thing from NHS Devon Partnership Trust. That's 11.5 minutes, and I've got to upload it, and I've got to have my tea. But this is part 2 of my waste cast for today. I look really ugly now because I've been medicated for the last sort of 3 years. I've put on loads of weight. And to be honest with you, it's what's on the inside that counts, isn't it? So maybe I'll never find love and I'll always appear a bit monstrous, but try and make the best out of a bad situation. If anyone can help out, I think it would be the most kind of honourable and pragmatic, justified thing to do, to try and stand up for myself and maybe to be able to help other people too in the process. But that's 12 minutes and 40 seconds now. So yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye for a bit.